It's so interesting to reflect on where I've come from and where I am now and just realize that there used to be so much fear. There used to be so much anxiety, so much depression, and all that stuff is changing now. Not that it is changing, it has changed. And now I'm recognizing myself in a new space of awareness. But what's interesting is that there's also still this part of me that, because of the chaos I was raised in, right? It's also like, well, where's the turbulence? Something about this is not right. When's it coming? And I'm realizing now that, like, I have to starve that. Not only starve that, but, like, also, like, recognize, like, yeah, that's not healthy at all. Never was, never will be. And my pursuit in, you know, going about sitting with myself and, because I've been talking about, like overstimulation and everything, um, distraction, avoidance, right? When you sit with yourself, you meet yourself. That's just the reality of it. When there's nothing there, you get to hear what's going on inside. This is something that a lot of people are absolutely terrified to do, right? But I believe that you don't know yourself until you do that. Like, there's an entire universe inside of us that wants to communicate, that wants to say something, that wants to speak. And until you have that sit down with it and actually like listen to what it has to say and everything, um, you might actually find out that a majority of it is just noise. We're so scared of ourselves, as if there are monsters inside of ourselves. There are terrified children that never got their, inner children that never got their needs met. And as a result of consistently self-sacrificing, a ton of resentment has grown. So the reason why self-love is so hard for so many people to achieve is because resentment has grown where love could have. You know, that's a very powerful thing to sit with and really, understand. When you over and over again sacrifice the self, you are building resentment rather than love, because then the opposite of trust is there, the opposite of care is there. Um, Other things start to form, and this is why it's just so important to be with yourself, take time by yourself, right? Nobody else gets to tell you how to do life. Nobody else gets to tell you how to do you. And it's interesting because I've grown up with people telling me how to do me, right? And of course, I only listened because I grew up in a way that evolved me into somebody who was codependent, somebody who was a people pleaser, um, somebody who had either permeable or no boundaries at all, right? Um, it's just interesting. It's really interesting when you sit with that, because whenever you sacrifice the self, you're not doing the best you can for yourself. Sacrifice in and of itself is something that's important to understand, because if you do it in the right way, not self-sacrificing, if you learn how to sacrifice that will be beneficial for you for your long term, then that's a different story. But if you're sacrificing your frame, your authentic frame, then you're just doing yourself a disservice in the long run, and it doesn't help you out. So every moment that you can become aware of that and bring all of your awareness and your focus back to yourself, then you can do the best you can for yourself. Any other time, it's probably not going to happen. And the best that you can do for yourself is the best that you can do for others. And putting yourself first is the best that you can do for others. Because when you don't put yourself first, you don't do the best that you can for yourself. And when you don't do the best that you can for yourself, you don't do the best that you can for others.